Welcome to Teem Sports Entertainment, your one-stop shop for mature dialogue. We're going to get right to it. Welcome to Teem Sports Entertainment, the podcast, your one-stop shop for mature sports dialogue. I'm your host, Earl Teema, alongside my co-host, my big uncle, Alan Teema. Got a special guest here in the middle, Said, and we are going to unpack the Western Conference playoff preview. But before we go any further, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel. Most importantly, hit the notification bell and leave some comments below and engage with us, all right? We're going to get right to it. All right, so the play-in has been solidified pretty much. We have this 8th, 9th, and 10th spots. Golden State, San Antonio, who's 10th, and Memphis is 8th, 9th. If Utah wins tonight, they take the number 1 seed. Phoenix goes to 2. And we have some different scenarios here. If Denver wins, they stay at 3. If Denver loses and the Clippers win, they're playing OKC tonight, they go to 3. They will play the 6th seed. If Dallas loses and Portland wins, Portland goes to the 5th seed. And Dallas will go to the 6th seed. I know it's a lot. That's why we're going. It's a whole the play-in, man. This is craziness. So let's just start with some scenarios. If you're the Denver Nuggets, you're playing Portland tonight.
Right.
You've beaten them 3 times this year. I believe it's 3 times, right?
Yeah.
They swept them. What are you playing for? Are you trying to stay at the 3rd seed and hope that the Lakers lose to the Pelicans, and you would play Portland, the same team that you're playing tonight? Or are you hoping to fall to the 4th seed and somehow probably play Dallas if Dallas wins?
Pick your poison.
I know there's a lot to think about.
Because Luka's nothing to play with.
No, he isn't.
And for me, it would be, the motto. Get them when they down.
All right.
Lakers are not in the rhythm yet. Why not? Go get them.
Go get him. All right.
Go get them now, because if you can get them early, this is you didn't give them a chance to get better, to get acclimated with all the new guys. You got Drummond who just started playing with LeBron. He didn't really play any games with LeBron. He ain't played that many games with Anthony Davis. They ain't really got their chemistry together. Then, on top of that, Schroeder. But Lakers been banged up all season.
All right.
And so they're not used to playing with each other. And so if you're going to get them, this would be the opportunity.
Yeah, right.
So I'm going for them.
All right. So you're saying that you if you're Denver, you're winning tonight. And
Exactly.
You want to face the Lakers if the Lakers somehow, they should beat the Pelicans, all right?
Well, let's get this straight. I'm always looking for the win, so I don't care who. Where it lines up is the way it's supposed to this line up, but I'm not going into that tank a game. That's not what I'm saying. But it's today's NBA. It seems to be, it's okay because you can see teams literally positioning themselves to be in certain positions, which, I can't knock it either way. But to me, it shouldn't be because of fear. You maybe want a different matchup because you it might favor you. Okay, that's fine. But don't let it be the fact that you don't want to play a team. Because if you don't want to play the team now, you might have to meet up with this team that you don't want to play anyway. And then while you worrying about them, the team that you run into just might be the one to get you.
Yeah. All right.
Because you obviously you don't have respect for them. You have more respect for another team than you do the team that you rather play. Pick your poison.
Yeah, man, they're in a very unique situation, man. Yeah, no doubt. What you think about that, Seth? As far as if you're Denver, once again, if they win tonight, they stay at the 3rd spot. They'll play whoever's at 6, whether it's the Lakers or Portland. No, it wouldn't be Portland. Well, if the Lakers win, it'll be the Lakers. If the Lakers lose, it'll be Portland, even if Denver beats them. But what do you think if you're the Denver Nuggets? Obviously, they're a professional team. You don't tank games. But if you're in that position, what are you doing?
I think more or less, if you're Denver, just looking at my stats and some notes and stuff from during the season, I don't think they want to fall to 4 and have to play Dallas and a Luka Doncic and a Kristaps Porzingis. Looking at the 3 games, Luka Doncic is at least averaging over 30-something points in all 3 games that he had. I mean, well, the first game back on January 7th, he overtime went actually for them. He had 38, 13, and 9. Now, that's crazy. And that was back in January. I mean, and as we look on here, the second game back on 2 weeks later, Denver wins, but he still, put up big numbers again. He had 35. So he had 2 games, 38, 35, and then the third game was 20. So if I'm the Nuggets, maybe I don't want to slide to 4 and have to play a Dallas team that has basically owned you throughout the regular season. So my thing is stay at 3. Obviously you want to win tonight. Play to win the game. You don't want to just play and just what to lose because you're worried about seeding. You're worried about moving down. Why? You don't play the games just to lose on purpose or anything. You're playing to win. And if I'm Denver, okay, you get the 3 seed. Your 2 options are obviously playing Portland, that'll stay at 6, or playing the team that basically obviously sent you home in the Western Conference Finals last year, which was the Los Angeles Lakers. So
and that would be the Clippers that sent them home.
Oh, I'm sorry.
But that
or Denver, I'm talking about.
Yeah.
No, Denver.
Denver sent the Clippers.
Yeah, you're absolutely correct. I'm somewhere else. You're absolutely correct. Yeah.
All right. So you want to stay at 3. I mean, just me. I'm just saying. I don't think 4 would be ideal because then you're going to see a Luka Doncic that has tortured you throughout the regular season, and that's what he's done. Earl, Allen. That's hopefully basically what they've done.
Yeah. Now that you unpack that, that's wow. Luka is a monster. Jesus Christ. All right. So Denver stays at 3. Now you're the Clippers. You're at 4. So you would probably also have to face a team in Dallas, possibly, that could have sent them home in the first round had KP not gotten hurt and that bogus ejection early on in the season against Dallas in the bubble and in the playoffs. So Denver will probably play LA because I don't see LA losing to the Pelicans tonight. So they'll probably, if Denver wins, they'll lock in the 6th seed. The Clippers would see they would see Dallas 4th and 5th, which would probably assure them that they wouldn't see the Lakers until the conference finals. All right. Now I know there's a lot of scenarios because that's just what it is. The play-in, it brings that. It's all over the place. But with the league, with the play-in, the way we're speaking, that means that the Lakers would be 6. And the scenario would be that Portland would play Golden State in the play-in, right?
Right.
Who would you take in that game? In a one game. This is a tournament. Because Steph been lighting it up, but Dame got it in him too.
I'm taking Portland.
Taking Portland.
Yeah.
You don't sound convincing.
And 5. Is that convincing enough?
What if they played?
Well, no, but that's a play-in though.
It's a play-in.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Right.
Yeah.
In the play-in.
Yeah.
But see, that's the thing about the play-in. You got Dame and Steph. Problem here is Steph always got the upper hand on that when he had Clay to slow down Dame.
Yeah.
Who's slowing Dame down?
Nobody.
That's the thing. Okay. We know that Green can take Nurkic out of the game.
Yeah.
He, I don't care about size. Green is not arguably, to me, one of the best post players in the league, and he's only 6'7".
Post defenders.
Right? Post defenders, yeah. But Portland got a new team. They made a trade at the trade deadline, and they picked up Powell. He's gonna make he has championship experience also.
Yeah, that speaks volumes.
Yeah, he has championship experience, and I'm a big Dame fan. So I mean, I'm gonna go with Dame.
All right, who would you take? Upset?
tough one. Portland's been playing well. They both been playing good basketball, but in a one-game setting, I mean, actually 2 chances, but more or less on a one game. I mean, I just think Steph Curry finds a way to get it done, and I like Golden State's chances, even though they would be the road team. But I like Golden State to win on the road, and I've seen a couple of games that they were able to win on the road, during the season. So I think they can go on the road. If anybody can do it, it would be them.
Championship pedigree.
Yeah, championship pedigree, the DNA of that, obviously.
So we try to unpack every scenario possible. So obviously, if the Lakers win the play-in, I'm guessing that both of you will have them advancing, right?
Yes.
Well, you're silent, so that speaks volumes. So if Portland wins, they'll probably take the 7th seed. They would. If Golden State plays the winner of Memphis and San Antonio, do you have them advancing?
Yes.
What about you, Seth?
Yes.
All right, so that leads me to this question. Obviously, so if Portland lost to Golden State, you have them advancing to the 8th seed as well, no matter who they play, whether it's Memphis or San Antonio.
Yes.
Okay. So Golden State playing Phoenix in the first round. How does that look?
I got Steph.
Wow. I wasn't expecting that.
Yeah.
And why? Who do you have?
I like Golden State. I agree with them. I like them to pull the upset.
The reason why is I'm not I was a strong believer in Phoenix Suns during the season.
Mm-hmm.
The playoff is a whole nother monster, and I know Chris Paul is, but I don't know none of them other dudes in the playoffs.
That's valid.
I don't know none in them young boy, even down to Booker.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't seen him in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Playoffs is a whole nother monster. And Golden State has nothing to lose. And even if they did, Steph been there.
You been there?
He been there.
All right.
Coach been there. Draymond been there. Those are the moments they want to be in. And I think that they're that experience, that championship experience that they had straight 5 years straight. And I know it's only 2 of them, well, 3 of them because you the center
Looney,
he's been there, and I like the matchups. Golden State wing players match up well with Phoenix wing players.
Wow. I'm gonna come back to that. What you think? Or you said you would take Golden State, right? I don't think I would take Golden State in that, because you're speaking of experience as well. Like, I just think that Phoenix is a much more talented team, and even without playoff experience, a guy like Devin Booker, with the leadership of a Chris Paul,
I like it.
That's a beautiful thing. Monty Williams is a solid coach. I think he's the coach of the year, in my opinion. And if you go down the roster with the additions of Crowder and the way Cameron Payne and a bunch of them are playing, I just don't think Golden State will have enough in the 7-game series to beat them. In addition to size,
I think they match up perfect. Both teams, both ways.
Yeah.
I think they match up perfect. And defensively, Phoenix play D. They play defense. They're one of the, I think, top 5 defensive players in the league. And it's just Steph Curry always get the best of Chris Paul.
Yeah.
Because to me, it's just my opinion and me watching. I think Chris Paul takes it a little too personal, that matchup, and it makes him get a little overzealous.
Yeah. I can roll with that,
because I can go back to playoff series when he was in Houston, and he hit a 3 and they were up, and that's when they had him down and he got hurt. But before he got hurt, he hit a 3 and he came down and
shimmy on him.
And shimmy. It was like, okay, I'm getting you back for all the times you did this to me. And to me, I think that was a part of how they started falling apart. because you woke up you woke Steph up after that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You can Steph is not somebody to play with.
Now, I dig that. I just think that Chris Paul is in a position where he has, I won't say the best team that he ever had, but these matchups and the weapons that he has, I think that someone like Golden State I don't think they would take him 7. I think they would win that. This is the first time in his career when you can look at both of these teams and you say, you know what? Chris Paul is the favorite.
Did you see the last time that they played Golden State, which was last week or something like that? Did you see that game?
I think I did. I think that was in Golden State, right?
Did you see the defense that Phoenix was playing? They was running 3 and 4 guys at Steph and leaving everybody else wide open. No, not like this. It's a fast break. Other guys filling the lane. They running 4 guys, building a wall as if his name is Giannis or something at 3/4 court.
You got to do that, man. we sound surprised by that at this particular time. What he does.
That's over.
Listen, man.
That's how they lost the game, though. They because giving them wide open layups in a close game. That's the thing. Mm-hmm. In a close game. If Steph gonna make threes over 4 people, you know what? Come on.
But it's just like the attention that he drew. He drew a lot of attention.
So that means that that would show me there that if he came out in the game hot, their whole defensive plan is gonna be forced. We know that's what you have to do, but I think they it's like I said, it's too personal to shut Steph down. I don't think you need to be worrying about trying to shut Steph down because Steph is going to score 40 and 50 points, right? Keep the rest of those players at 30 and 40. That's 80 points. You mean to tell me that but I mean, you can't allow the rest of them to have big nights because what you breaking your whole defense down for Steph, he's still going to get his 40. He's still going to get his 30 when he's trying to get it because he's one of those greats. He's going to get it. But if you allow the rest of the players to get 25, 15, you can't win that game because you gave them too many points. Make Steph beat you, but don't let everybody else. That's the key. And another thing people do, they play defense off of Green. When he's the facilitator of the team, if you pressure him, he won't see every time Steph is open. But you're playing off of him because his man is chasing what Steph at. The other Looney's man is chasing what, and then I can see the setup. What they do is Steph will hold the ball and move it all the way over to the hash mark, right, and wait for the double team to come for him. He'll throw the ball to the other side to the weak side man that's wide open because everybody's focused on him, right? Then everybody start running back to their man. Meanwhile, Steph is going back around the pick to the man, and now he's just picking Steph man and nobody there, and he's getting wide open threes. Wide open threes.
Yeah, we see it all the time, man.
None of these coaches can see that.
Listen, coaches probably see it, but the players on the floor, your IQ got to be.
The man never stops moving, man.
Yeah,
he never stops moving.
He definitely moves well without the ball.
All right, so you both got Golden State in that series. All right, I'll take Phoenix in that, but that would leave Portland playing Utah in the first round,
which is the 1-8.
That would be a 1-8. This is hypothetically speaking because we've unpacked the entire play-in and
West is powerful.
Yeah, it is. We don't know how it's gonna fall, but just based on the games that we've watched and the way things are going, this is what we're seeing. Portland and Utah.
Dame Dollar against Mitchell.
Who's coming off an injury? When's the last time he's played?
At least a couple of weeks.
Yeah. It was a leg injury too, right? Yeah.
I think I gotta go.
It's tough, man. It's the West, yo.
Even like to touch on something else, I'm looking here with the Dallas scenario, right?
Yeah.
With the Clippers, right? We spoke on that earlier. Now, as I'm looking here, it's crazy. It's unbelievable.
Talking to Mike a little bit.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, looking at it earlier, like, you know, back in December, if anybody remembers, they beat the Clippers by almost 50 points. They did.
Yeah, we did a video on that.
Yeah. Come on. What the biggest league was what, 55, maybe more at one time?
Yeah, that was
like they dismantled the Clippers.
Yeah, but what's the count? Clippers in Dallas. Who?
Oh, 2-1 Dallas.
Yeah,
I'm looking at it now. Yeah, December 27th, the 50-point win, 124-73.
And,
March 15th, Clippers won that by 10.
Kawhi didn't play that game.
Which one he didn't play?
The one they lost by 50.
All right, but everybody else did, and they lost. So who cares? Like, you know what I mean? No, not saying that,
It's
but
the NBA,
he didn't play, but they lost by 50. What? Because this freaking guy didn't play. What? You know?
Yeah.
But it's fine. So again, back on March 15th, the Clippers won by 10, and then they played 2 days later, and Dallas beat them by 16. So 2-1 Dallas. So if I'm the Clippers, do you want to fall to 4 and have to play them in the 4-5?
Well.
Yeah. To avoid the Lakers in the first round, yeah.
Yeah.
Because
if I'm the Clippers, again, ain't no difference than Denver. If I'm the Clippers, I want the Lakers now. I want them now because anything later than now is going to be worse for you. Get them when they're down. And I think that right now they were down. There's no way that LeBron has his playoff legs and he can go. His mind might can tell him that he can go zero dark 30. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but no. and he's 36. He need a few more games to get that under his legs. By that time, the Clippers could have them down 2-1, 3. Well, 3-1 is a bad thing for them.
Me and I get what you're saying about that. I just like if they were to play, if the Clippers and Lakers meet in the first round, I like the Lakers. It doesn't matter what scenario. I'm not betting against LeBron James in a playoff series, an elimination, a 7-game series. You have to beat him 4 times. And I'm not saying that the Clippers can't, but I just think in a situation where maybe they have underachieved, like during the season. Maybe they have been down. They've been losing games. He's been hurt. He's been injured. AD's been out. But I just think it's playoff time now, and it's different. Everybody's clean slate. Everybody gets a clean slate, and I just think wherever they fall, the 6, 7, wherever they fall, I like them to come out of the play-in, the first round, whoever they get paired up with. That's what I think. You know, they're still the champs.
Yeah.
So that's just what what I think.
Yeah,
with the Lakers.
And to piggyback on something you were saying about if you're the Clippers, you would be looking to win these games. But they've sat some players during some games they were supposed to win. So obviously, if you're looking at that, you're saying their mindset, they were trying to strategically place them or align themselves with a particular matchup.
You know why I'm not going to say that? Because have you taken a look at the team that they sat everybody down? Houston Rockets.
It's an NBA team, man.
No, that's a G League team.
Still, what I'm saying is you're still playing against pros.
Do you understand?
They're supposed to win that game.
I think
regardless.
they don't have anybody on their roster that they're playing. They're playing all wingmen and guards. They don't have any bigs on the floor.
Like last year. Yeah.
So I mean, these are guys that's like really just coming out of the G League that's playing, that been suiting up for the last week for Houston. So as deep as they are, they were supposed to beat them even with the guys that they suited up.
I get that, but don't you feel like you're playing Russian roulette if you do that? Because you're tied with Denver. It's not like you're chasing them, you're 3 games behind. Every game matters.
Well, see.
And you would have gotten a week off before the playoffs even start. So I'm not understanding why you even sitting players, because the playoffs start on Saturday.
Well, I'm glad they did it. You want to know why? You want to know why I'm glad?
Yeah.
Because that gave me ammunition to kill them if they lose in the first round anyway.
I dig it.
So if you tanked to play, as cocky as Luka is, do you want him really coming to this game feeling like you're disrespecting him? Like, we can beat you, when he always got them. He's always, and even in the loss, they don't really just beat up on Dallas. It's a battle. Last year in the playoffs, that was a battle.
Yeah,
that was a battle, and some bad refereeing and injuries changed that whole series. Yeah. So do you really? I mean, that's why I believe. Listen, let the basketball gods handle what they handle. When you start trying to play in the middle of that, you're picking some. That ain't no difference than being up 3-1 and allowing the team to come back. Because you had a chance to avoid the team that you, like Dallas, by doing what people pay to watch you do, win.
Anything else you want to add to that, sir?
I just think to touch on that Clipper thing, and this is not not to be disrespectful or anything, not to come off, but when they played Houston the other night, I got to touch on this, and this is just is unbelievable. I know they sat guys. I get it that they sat. I didn't even look at even the box score from that, but looking at what they had, I mean, the facts are the fact. Houston is terrible. They're terrible. And you mean to tell me that, okay, Leonard didn't play, George didn't play, and you mean to tell me that they couldn't find a way to beat one of the worst teams in the league? Because they want to, quote unquote, sit guys. You sit, so because you sat them, so we're just going to take a night off and not play hard. You're supposed to play hard every night, and that's just, to me, it's just unacceptable. Like, you're not supposed to lose to the Rockets, whether these guys are out.
Well, see, you got to understand. Who is the Clippers' big brother?
The champs.
Who they always trying to emulate? They want to take over L.A. Kawhi came to the Clippers, and all of a sudden he the king of L.A. and all of that, right? Mm-hmm. The Lakers had just played Houston too and sat everybody. Mm-hmm. And they want to do like their big brothers. Oh, they didn't beat them, we can beat them.
Guys,
and y'all did, and y'all almost lost to them too. But
that's my point.
Yeah,
my point is
that's an NBA team, man.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm saying. Back to what you're saying. That's unacceptable. Basically, what you were saying, that it is unacceptable. To me, I just feel like because these two guys did not play, and I'm not saying Kawhi, Paul George didn't play. You still have to. You're a professional at the end of the day. You still have to do a job. These other guys should have been able to come in and get it done. And I actually just looked at the box score of the Clipper Rockets game, and guys were putting up numbers. They had guys that were scoring. I mean, it's a high scoring game. They scored 114 points without both of them.
And remember, there's no game plan or no scouting report for those guys because these are G League guys. So you don't know what their strengths are. So you're finding out in the game, and now you trying to take the fire out of somebody that that ain't even been in the game all season long like that. So the Clippers, we could talk about them over and over again. I don't expect them to make it to the conference final.
All right, but with that being said, because we spoke of Luka and his talents, but the way y'all was talking about him, and I think he's a great player, like he's the boogeyman, right? Do you have them beating the Clippers in the first round matchup?
See, I'm biased because I'm always going against the Clippers. I always want the Clippers.
But talk basketball. Don't hope. Tell me.
Now, in basketball, that's anybody's game because the simple fact that Pandemic P might not show up again. You know who Pandemic P is. And until, like I told you early on in the season of the season opener, I said his name is Pandemic P. I don't care what kind of regular season he had until he showed me in the playoffs. Playoffs is coming. Teams been up in their play to be more like playoff atmosphere. And where has Paul George been? He's fading away again. Now it's playoff time. Last year, Kawhi and Paul George, the two best two-way players in the league, neither one of them could stop Luka. Not one of them.
So
but you still ain't answered the question, though. We'll come back to that. Go ahead.
So basically, you're saying, Alan, like that either one of them, quote unquote, couldn't stop him. Which, okay, I get that. My thing is, you think this year that you saying Dallas would beat them? That's what you're saying, right?
Yeah, I think so.
You think so? Okay.
All right. I was looking for the commitment.
All right, so I understand that. My thing is, he put up numbers in the series last year. Yeah. The end result of that, they lost the series.
KP went down, but when KP was there, it was a different game.
I agree. In which and I'll give you that, bad officiating game one. They should have won game one. They took game one from them. Yeah. They robbed them of game one. I understand that, but I mean, if they do play, I mean, like I said, looking at the season series and stuff, I still do like the Clippers to get out of that. Mm-hmm. They will. I think they'll find a way to get out of that. I just think Dallas, they don't get enough stops for me. They don't commit to defense. I mean, Rick Carlisle, he doesn't get his guys to buy in on the defensive end. We know they can put up 115, 120 points. Another example of that. And this is, again, the other night, on Friday night, they played a Toronto team that sat everybody. They sat everybody. Mm-hmm. And they almost blew that. They had a big lead, 18, 20-point lead, and because they don't want to guard anybody, and Toronto sat everybody. They had nobody to play, and they almost lost to basically a depleted team. Okay. So that's my thing. And those are the things that I touch on when I see a team that didn't have Kyle Lowry, didn't have Fred VanVleet, Pascal Siakam didn't play, OG Anunoby didn't play. Mm-hmm. They sat 5 guys. So between all of those starters, they basically sat starters, and they played with guys like Stanley Johnson, mm-hmm. guys like that, Malachi Flynn. Mm-hmm. I mean, guys you've never, no disrespect to them, never even heard of. And they were able to put up 100 and almost 106, 108 points. And Dallas played everybody. They had Doncic, Porzingis, Tim Hardaway Jr. They played everybody. So when I see things like that, that would questions me about their lack of, committing to defense. And I know in the playoffs, again, as we touched on earlier, Earl, about getting more stops. You have to defensively you said it, defense wins series, playoff series.
Right.
And I'm just not convinced that they can do that.
One more thing on the Clippers. If you watch them all season, you live by the 3, you die by the 3. They have no inside game. Everything according to their offense is all jump shooting. That's a playoff nightmare because Golden State have ruined the league because everybody think they can shoot threes like them. Now, the Clippers have shot a high percentage later on in the season to the point to where they are the best three-point shooting team in the league. But in the playoffs, can you continue making those threes? Because when they're not making threes, they look horrible.
I agree. And I agree with that.
Yeah.
And I agree when they're not hitting, they come into like a stagnant phase and just one-dimensional, one-on-one. Everybody want to, let me get my own shot when that just takes away from everything. But I do agree with that.
Playoff Rondo might can change that.
He is who he is, man. Yeah. So pretty much, man, the West is just a toss-up, man. It don't even matter as far as, I wouldn't say star power doesn't matter, but it's all about the matchup. Like we went over Phoenix and Golden State. You made a compelling argument that Golden State could possibly beat them. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. The Phoenix, the Utah and the Portland situation where you got to play like Dame, CJ starting to get his rhythm back. You don't want to play them in the first round either. So you may be a favorite, but I wouldn't be surprised if Portland beat them. I don't see Denver beating LA if LA's at the 6th seed and Denver's at the that's the only decisive matchup I can possibly walk away with saying, you know what, that first round matchup, I would pencil in my winner.
To touch on what you're saying,
yeah.
And this is my pick, as far as, and I'm just going out on a limb for the Western Conference, and this is, again, that's just what my opinion. I don't have the 1 or the 2 seed getting to the conference final. I don't have Utah at 1 and I don't have Phoenix at 2 getting to the conference final. The Western Conference Finals. Neither one of them, you can quote me on this, will not be in the Western Conference Finals.
Because Utah will play the winner of the 4 and 5,
which would be Denver.
No, that would be
Denver or either the Clippers and Dallas, or either Denver and Dallas.
Yeah,
and I don't like neither one of them to get to the Western Conference Finals, and that's just what I'm saying.
I can't argue with that. No, I can't.
What messed up the whole playoff picture is the Lakers having these injuries, because they are not a 7 seed, they're not a 6 seed.
No.
And then just think about it. You played all season long to be the number 1, 2 seed, and your reward is that you have to play the defending champion Lakers with Anthony Davis and LeBron James. To me, I just think that's a curse.
But eventually, you have to play him anyway, right? Yeah. No, I'm good.
No. So, with that being said, what you said about that, if the Lakers do fall into the play-in scenario with the 7 seed, and obviously we'll have to play Golden State, which is 8, and like I said, I like them. Whatever scenario the Lakers is in, I like to get out. But that would be my upset, and I was talking about that. I think the Lakers would beat Phoenix. Phoenix would beat 2 plays 7, so the Lakers would play Phoenix in the first round. Mm-hmm. And I like the Lakers to upset Phoenix and send them home in the first round. Like I said, I have Phoenix nor Utah getting to the Western Conference Finals. Neither one of them.
But to me, I don't think that I don't think that we're gonna see. We're putting a lot of these scenarios that we're doing, and I can understand you, but even said, because you're a Laker fan, and even said now he's saying Lakers, but we keep putting them in the 6th spot. But most likely they'll be in the 7th spot in the play-in, going against Steph Curry in a 1-game elimination game. So Golden State, with LeBron being if he win that, Lakers win that, they're the 7th seed.
Yeah.
Okay. What if they lose that?
I don't see it happening.
It's possible.
I don't see it happening.
And even if it does happen, and if they lose, they fall down
to 8th.
And have to play the 9-10 winner.
Which I don't see them losing to neither one of them.
Neither one of them. And then worst case scenario, they do get the 8th seed. Then who they playing? They're playing Utah, and they're gonna send Utah home. Well, that's 7 or 8.
But then that's and that's what I mean. That's a scenario that gives the Lakers the easiest route through the playoffs. Because now they just knocked off the number 1 seed. They beat Utah, right? Let's say that. Mm-hmm. Now you got an original. That's the type of seeding that you expect from the Lakers anyway. So now they're the number 1 seed basically, because they just knocked off the number 1 seed, and now they got to play
the Clippers or Dallas.
4 or 5. The winner of that. Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, that's not the easiest route.
It isn't. No. But the thing with them is, it's limited. Is it really an easy route?
There is no easy route in the playoffs. But the Western is, and especially this year, it's just ridiculous.
It's stacked, man. It's mind-boggling trying to come up with all the scenarios and trying to unpack it. But it's good for the game. It's good for the fans. It's good.
It's
to have
the last day of the season, and you see what we're talking about.
What ifs?
We're all over the place.
Sound like the off season, right?
Yeah.
Watch what happens.
Yeah. Come on. We done gave up so many scenarios, and I guarantee you there's another scenario that's actually brewing that we didn't even mention yet.
Well, Portland can go to the 5th seed.
Phoenix can go to the number 1 seed.
Yeah. It's a lot.
It's a lot going on.
But we're just going by based off what we've seen, and with Sacramento sitting pretty much their whole lineup, you already penciled Utah in to get that win. That's why we're speaking hypothetically. But yeah, anything can happen. Because Houston just beat the Clippers by sitting players, right? So like, it's just these are pro teams that we're watching. No matter if they're bums or not, any team can lose on any given night.
Right.
But at the same time, man, so many different scenarios. But as far as the Lakers go, whether they fall 6 or 7, I don't see anyone in the play-in beating them, and I don't see the Denver Nuggets beating them as well. There's no easy route, but I just think when you got LeBron James and AD in that championship pedigree, it's a nightmare. So we shall see, man. Everything is slowly unpacking. We should know by midnight who's going to be where. Lakers playing Pelicans tonight. Who else is playing? Minnesota got Dallas. Mm-hmm. Denver has Portland. Mm-hmm. And we went over every.
Got OKC.
Yeah. We went over every possible scenario, and we've given winners. I don't think you made a commitment on that Dallas and Clippers.
How many times I gotta tell you?
I don't think you're a believer, man. I don't believe you. I don't think you believe, man.
I'm not a Dallas fan.
Yeah,
but Luka, I believe in him.
Yeah, Luka's a baller, man.
He's the truth, and you can't rattle him. You can't rattle him. He does no. You can't rattle him. So yeah, look me in my eye. I got Dallas to beat Clippers.
All right, man. All right. So, say anything else you want to chime in?
Listen, it's just gonna be a good playoffs. The West is loaded, and it's gonna be good. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah, man.
I'll leave it at that.
I don't have anything else to add. Anything else? All right. So this is
Lakers in 5.
No matter who. This is Teem Sports Entertainment, the podcast. Don't forget to like the video, leave a comment below. All the scenarios that we went over. Let us know who you have winning the play-in, who's advancing where. And this is not it. This is just a preview on our behalf. We'll be breaking down the games as they unfold throughout the entire playoffs. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell. That way you know when we upload new content. I'm Earl Teemer, Big Unc is the co-host. Got the guest host or guest appearance by Sed. And we appreciate y'all, man. Teem Sports.
Thanks for having me.
Great insight, man. We appreciate you, dog. Y'all be good out there.
Peace.